Hi, welcome to Pod of Mercy. I am your host, Longhair Linda, and today's very special guest co-host is...
Always had a buzz of every rhyme I wrote, and everybody want to know me like the Wi-Fi code. Kinell himself, Sinister Cinema Studios.art for all your needs.
Amazing. That was such a good intro. How are you doing, Kinell?
Not so bad, not so bad. Hectic times as it always is, but we keep moving. You good? You good?
Keep moving. Yeah, I can't complain. I'm excited about our episode today. But actually, before we get started, you've not been here before. What I normally do is do a little bit of a warm up, a little bit of an icebreaker, shall we say. So I've got a rapid fire round where you'll have 45 seconds to answer 10 questions.
Ooh.
Do you think you can do it?
I'll give it a go.
Give it a go. Good. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, if you get all 10 questions done in that time, then you win. And if you don't, then I win. There's no prizes, just bragging rights. But
okay,
you want to win, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my timer together. Give me just a second. And then as soon as I say go and start reading the first question, that's when the time starts. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And... go. Would you rather be able to fly or turn invisible?
Fly.
What's your best feature?
Sorry, what?
What's your best feature?
Beard.
Travel to the past or to the future?
Future.
What's your hidden talent?
Hiding.
Find your dream job or win the lottery?
Lottery.
What's your favorite sandwich filling?
Ooh, cheese toasties count?
Yep. Would you rather have scaly skin or fur?
Fur.
What actor would play you in a movie?
Probably like what should we call it? CGI chimpanzee, like the Robbie Williams movie.
Oh, you're out of time. You still had 2 more questions to go. So you answered 8. Okay, I'll ask you anyway, just because I want to know for myself. Would you rather live by the sea or in the countryside?
The sea.
The sea. And what's the most random fact you know, Kinell?
Ooh. The rock hyrax is related closer to the elephant than what should we call it? Other mammals.
Huh. That is random. Okay. Why do you know that? How do you know that?
I'm really into rock hyraxes at the minute.
I'm going to sound really dumb, but what's a rock hyrax?
It's what should we call it? It's a small furry creature about this big, and it's what should we call it? But it's it's a little furry thing, like a little like what should we call it? Like chinchilla-y kind of thing. Okay. But it's got 2 pointy teeth like this, like a little vampire. And what should we call it? The noise they make is
okay. Where do they live in the world?
Zoos. I don't know. It's one of those things like, where like sometimes you'll like linger on something a bit too long on Instagram, and like just it'll just like that's what your feed is now.
Yeah. So now you'll get everything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like that, but it's been like that for months, because every time I see a rock hyrax, I go, oh, I just need to stop and see what this one's noise is, and it's always. All right, honestly, like check out Hyrax is on Instagram. It's a
all right,
great way to spend your time.
I'll do it. Okay. All right. Well, that was the rapid fire round. So unfortunately, you didn't get it this time, but that's okay. That's all right. So let's get on then to the topic of today's episode. So we're going to probably call this one "Quitting Twitter." So I know that we had a brief conversation before this about like random things that we could get into conversation about, what we could talk about. And you said that you had quit Twitter, and I thought that was really interesting, because I always think about the reasons why I should quit. So I'm really fascinated to know what made you quit Twitter in the first place, Kinell.
Right. Like, I don't think we need to really we all know that Twitter's rubbish now.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what should we call it? One of the main catalyst events for me, like quitting, was I'm working on a computer game, Expired Meds, which I'm releasing on Steam. And when I put up the page for it, when you release a PC game on Steam, like ultimately it's about getting as many like wish lists for it as you can, because it's cumulative. Like when every week when some games come out, whichever one has the most wish list goes on the front page and then ends up selling loads more copies. So it's all about getting that click through there, like cumulatively. It doesn't have to be hot and trending, it needs to be all together. So like I started following that, and that's when it, and like nothing was coming through off Twitter. And like I started reevaluating like how useless it was for that, because it's the only thing that's getting any kind of traction on Twitter at the minute is aggro. It's like people saying controversial things or people saying stupid things.
Yeah.
Or like inflammatory discourse or whatever. And like there was always been elements of that to it, but it's really, really shifted. And like flipping, when I noticed that, because it's designed to keep you on the site, it's designed to sort of keep you engaged in all this annoying shit. Even if you're not engaged in the discourse, you're reading it and you're seeing all this fucking chaos. And it's a lot, and like it's a time-consuming app. You spend
That's
a lot
true.
of time on Twitter. And when I realized that, like, because like a while ago, I was like, this has got to go. This is just too shitty. But I'm keeping my account because I'm going to have to sell my video game. And when I realized I couldn't sell my video game, and I was just having all this horrible shit on my timeline, it started like, I thought, what am I doing here? And I started going back. I started looking, like, because it's my second Twitter account. I should clarify. I'm an old school Twitter head. My original account, like, I think is from 2008. And like, I tweeted via SMS text message.
Yep.
Like them days, like off a flipping Sony Ericsson. We're talking like T2 Heartbroken era. This is how far I go back with like Twitter.
Same.
But what should we call it? Shortly after Musk got in, things stopped working. Lots of people got sacked, specifically like anyone dealing with customer complaints around that time. I what should we call it? Tweeted a joke which didn't go down well with certain anonymous accounts in the alt-right community that mass reported my account. It got taken down and it was perma-banned because there's no one to complain to.
Wow.
Yeah, so what should we call it? It was like the free speech lot that took away my account.
Yeah.
And what should we call it? So then flipping, I still had the podcast account. So that's what I'd use. But that's why I noticed the shift, because like flipping, I had like a few thousand followers on my old account. And like most of them came from just I'd tweeted something funny. And like, what should we call it? It like, like a lot of people had reposted it and people had find me from that. And that was like how things were done in those days. But it hasn't been the case for a bit. Like, and like that's when I started reevaluating things, because I realized like who I'm posting, like, because the engagement figures are bullshit. Like, what should we call it? But who I'm posting, who's actually liking it, who's retweeting it, who's replying to it. I'm just looking at all the names and thinking, I could have done this on WhatsApp. I could have posted this in a WhatsApp group. Like, the only people who are seeing your tweets at this point are people that already followed you and that also, what should we call it, have their timeline set to only people I follow.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's extremely difficult. I think for sure the algorithm has completely changed. But like how they push you has changed, because they don't put a regular tweet out. You definitely have to have a premium account, because I know they're obviously trying to get people to pay for Twitter. And the people that pay, their stuff, like I constantly see them on my timeline. I constantly see them at the top of replies to things as well. So it's like they push it so that you only see the people that have paid for Twitter, which is obviously by design. But yeah, I mean, a lot of what you said, I mean, I haven't had an account permabanned, but I've had two accounts that were my personal accounts on Twitter. So the first one was also in 2008. And then in 2009, I got another one. I think I got locked out of the first one. I just forgot my password or whatever. And so the account that I use now is one that I've had since 2009. And like you, I remember the good old days of Twitter, where it was like people were just having conversations. It was literally you were for the most part, if you were tweeting, you were either saying a thought that you're just saying out into the ether, which is basically what the internet's for anyway, like social media for, or you were like actually having a conversation, having actual discourse with people, whether you knew them in real life or you didn't, whether you were following them or you weren't, or they weren't following you, etc. Now it's like you can only have the conversations they want you to have. It has to be steered in an exact way. Like you were saying, it's like the rage baiting, or it would be like people who've paid for Twitter. It has to be the conversations that they're generating. And a lot of the time, it's just the same recycled bullshit. It might as well be AI because it's all so recycled. All the conversations are recycled. The big tweets that pop are recycled. Like it's just nothing is new, nothing is interesting anymore. And even just the other day, I literally got, because obviously a lot of stuff, the rage baiting stuff, a lot of it's racist because, you know, rage. But like the ads are racist now. Like I literally got an ad that was racist. Yeah. And I was like, so now you're even giving me ads that are racist. Like anyone can just promote any tweet. It doesn't, there's no quality control. There's nothing. It's just whatever they want to post. And like you said, it's the free speech lot. So the free speech lot will post hateful things and we have to accept it. But if you say, hey, this is hateful and, you know, you guys are stupid or whatever, you get your account permabanned even because you're not allowed to say that. And it's just like, it doesn't, yeah.
Yeah,
it's not a fun place. Now I go on it less and less, but every now and again I'll kind of maybe be a bit more frequent. I'll go in there just to retweet some stuff. I feel like I'm keeping up with stuff being on there, but really, I much prefer honestly, if I could just be on TikTok all day, I think I would. I'd much prefer it. But even that's got its issues, to be fair. But yeah,
I think like what we call it, one of the. Like, I think like what Twitter inherited, like before it went like this, is that a lot of us used it as like the primary way we communicated, like flipping. And so like for a long time, the only good aspects of Twitter might as well have been a big group chat.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm speaking to people on Twitter just because I'm not speaking to them elsewhere. But that was a habit thing. And like, that was a habit thing. And like, I have other ways of contacting these people. And plus, like, I've got to like tweet them directly to make sure they got it. And then they might not see it. And like flipping, like, the start of the like, right, I can't hang around here much longer was like when I started seeing the engagement. At the time, I had like flipping 300 followers on Blue Sky, and like flipping all the wish lists were coming from Blue Sky because that doesn't have an algorithm, and it's still like, you know, if people think it's something's interesting, they'll share it. So and nothing's coming from Twitter. In fact, like more was coming from what we call it, Facebook Messenger than Twitter.
Wow.
So like flipping just people I'm just like flipping, hey, yo, talking to anyway, saying, here's the link. And then like, but there's a lot of suppression of like the suppression's ridiculous. Like it used to be a joke that people had like, what we call it, claimed they were shadow banned, but really no one cared. But the fact is nearly everyone is effectively what they were trying to claim was happening ages back. And like,
back when they used to say that the companies used to say they didn't do that. Do you remember? They used to be like, no, we don't shadow ban. Like, we don't do any of that stuff. And it would just be users being like, something doesn't feel right. And now they just blatantly do it. And you have to pay them if you want to be visible.
Yeah, I think like Another big thing was watching flipping Koj's what should we call it, 1 a day till 100K. What he was doing content wise was fucking brilliant. He was doing great stuff.
Yeah, phenomenal.
And you can hold up like him posting those every day, the solid evidence that just having really good content isn't enough to reach out anymore on these platforms that are so algorithm dominated. Yeah. And like flipping, then you find out all this other like, do you know why it was changed from Twitter to X?
Like, I just assumed it was this, because it's SpaceX, and like, I just assumed it was Elon stuff.
Yeah, the actual reason for the name change is that what should we call it? Because there's been like free speech. There's been like a massive increase in the amount of CSA child assault material that's been appearing on the app. That's been what should we call it? That's being sold via what should we call it? Like using Arabic hashtags to like sort of come off things. And there was a big court case in Australia where what should we call it? Because in other countries they ban Twitter or whatever, but like Australia took them to court for not providing like the kind of safeguards to make sure that child porn isn't getting distributed through their platform. And at the actual court case, their defense was, well, that was Twitter. This is X. It's a different thing. And obviously, like, they lost the court case for not providing those like fucking safeguards for like being that thing. But like all the Australian court did was fine them $500,000 without enforcing anything on them, which is as good as taking a cut.
No, it's nothing. Yeah, that is taking a cut. You just took $500,000. That's it, or whatever it is, dollars or whatever.
Yeah, but this is a really notable thing, like a really notable court case. But no one seems to know that it happened.
I had no idea. This is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Like, this is it. This is the whole thing about like fucking the mainstream media's bullshit. Why was the mainstream media bullshit? Because it was all owned by like Rupert fucking Murdoch. So like fucking, if it's just going to be another mega rich guy like pushing things towards his interest, then this has become mainstream media.
Yeah, it's literally mainstream media. Yeah, that's what social media is. It started off one way, completely been shifted to another way. Yeah. It's literally the digital age of mainstream media. It's just somebody controlling what we see. It's got nothing to do with whether we actually get truth or anything from be able to actually interact with each other in a way where we can share actual truths. They'd rather put this random bullshit on the algorithms that actually isn't it, like, because I remember back in the day they used to complain about an echo chamber, like, the people you're talking to, it's all the people that agree with you, and so your algorithm is going to be based on all the things that you're interested in and the people you're talking to. And they would say that as if that was a problem. Fine, you can say that's a problem if you want. What the hell is this then? Because this is worse.
Yeah, flipping that. Like, this is one of those things that always comes out. Like, first of all, it doesn't matter if my social media is an echo chamber, because it's, even if it is an echo chamber, like you say, it's my social media. It's not my political media. It's not my debate media.
Exactly.
This is where I go.
What's the problem with that? It's like when you had MSN Messenger and you would add people from school that you wouldn't add random people from another school who were trying to beat you up. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? You would want to connect with people that you were connected to in some way already. So when we were younger, or like back in the day, we used to be MSN Messenger. And now it's like, what is wrong with wanting to connect with people who you actually get on with? What's wrong with that?
Like, you don't spend half your time in the pub sitting with the people you don't like for balance.
For what reason? And it's not balance when someone is just yelling hateful things at you, by the way. That's not balance. Balance is like, I feel this way about this thing. I feel this way about this thing. Nothing hateful. Nothing like this. It's just, it really stresses me out when they say the balance thing and that you need both sides, because I'm not going to both sides like a human rights issue. I'm not going to do that. Like, we can talk about we can argue or debate about the different ways to achieve a good thing, but good and bad are not the debates about the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, this isn't going to be a thing that I'm going to debate with people who don't value human life, don't think that people are important, don't think, like, we can't have a debate about that. What am I going to say? No, yeah, human life is worth something. No, it's not. That's the end of the debate. Why do I need to hear from them? Why do we need to balance this? I don't understand.
Well, this is it. Like, it's a trick question. To the start, it goes, well, you've got to hear both sides. Okay, do I need to hear both sides on the fucking app I go to for jokes and fucking cat pictures? Like, no, fucking, and you don't have to worry about an echo chamber unless you get all your political opinions from social media, in which case you're gone anyway.
Because, but that's what they're pushing now. Yeah, they want you to now, which is crazy.
And this is it. Like, the thing about social media is that no one ever changes their mind. Discourse on social media never stops when someone goes, actually, you've got a point. It's designed for people to just keep shouting at each other and calling the other person stupid. And they're like this whole industry is just driving it, like flipping. Like,
that's why I like TikTok, because you can watch a video of something that you felt one way about, and you can watch somebody break it down, somebody that you don't necessarily agree with. I have somebody that I don't agree with politically, but he goes out, he's cancel Coco. I'll tell you who he is. It's Ian Carroll. I don't agree with him politically, but I do like a lot. I do agree with him on a lot of stuff, like a lot of how things should be done, and like anti-massive corporation stuff. And he does great videos on TikTok. And I think he puts them on Twitter as well, because, he's a fan of the Twitter, especially now that it's owned by Elon Musk. Again, I don't agree with his politics, but he puts out like resources and things and tells you about, hey, BlackRock, they own this now, and this is now owned, and they all own each other, and this. I love that, because I like to learn about it. I like to know what is happening. And I think that when you have situations like that, I can see the value in conversing with people that you don't necessarily agree with. I can see the value in that if there is some kind of information that's being shared, like in TikTok, where you can have a video and you can choose whether you want to engage with that video or not. That's not the same as being on Twitter and having like racist ads pop up, things that are supposed to anger me every day come up on my timeline, like, crazy, like the same damn date conversations, and like all of this shit it's just for engagement. It's just to get a reaction out of me. It's not, like you said, it's not to come to a resolve. It's not to have healthy debate and discourse about certain things. It's not. It's supposed to be, we shout at each other, and the more we shout at each other, the more we need to be on this damn platform, and the more eyes they get on whatever advertisers that eventually come back to Twitter. It's just bad vibes. The whole thing is such bad vibes. And yeah, I need to let it go. And it's hard for me because, like I said, I've had that account since 2009. A lot of battle rap stuff is there, which I really enjoy. Like, I like to keep up and see what's going on, and that's mostly on Twitter. And just a lot of, there's some things that are still there, and so that's what kind of keeps me. But I do need to figure out a way of just cutting those ties and getting off that app, because at the moment, I don't even scroll on the For You like that, because it's just annoying. It's nothing good, nothing positive comes from it.
I don't know if it'll happen, but I think, I feel like the battle rap that goes on Twitter, I feel like it's just moved over from the forums on Facebook when that was the thing, and before that was the forum on the Don't Flop website. I feel like the conversations, the battle rap conversations, it's just like forum things, like it's not really, it never really breaks containment. No one really discovers battle rap through Twitter or anything. It's just a bunch of people in a community talking to each other
that we already know about. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, this is the thing, it baffled me anyway, like when people would say we're promoting the battle, we're selling the fight, we're going back and forth on the timeline, and like, you both got 200 followers, and they're the same 200 followers that have already seen the flyer. Like, you know, sometimes funny things come out of that, but like I don't think it's selling more tickets, like, and like because I mean, like, the way to look at it is like I've got thoughts about this, because like I've sort of like, I'm not battling, I'm still technically active, but like I'm not following battle rap like I was. Like, if I'm booked, I'll turn up, I'll spit some bars. But like I think people like need to be taking lessons from like pen game, because like flipping, we're at a point where like what should we call it, like you can book Rum Nitty and Jazz the Rapper to come over and like have like the most incredible fucking battle, and the event loses money. Meanwhile, pen game are like flipping going like super fucking mega platform, like becoming the thing. What people think battle rap is now entirely, like just off, like, because the league's the star. Because like when like when Don't Flop was at its most popular, people didn't say like, oh, I'm really into battle rap, I'm into this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. They used to say, oh, I'm into Don't Flop. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's happening now, is like, you know, it's like people don't say a list of their favorite like pen game people. They say that they like pen game. They say that they like their favorite, and they're talking about their favorite what should we call it, clips. And like flipping, they've done that so well. Like every time I see a what should we call it, a pen game clip on TikTok, on flipping Instagram or whatever, they always find me. It's always from the league's account. And it's always like really well edited. There's a hook at the start, like a punchline, like, so in the first 7 seconds you're hooked. So if you share it to your story, then like, because obviously when people share things to their Instagram stories, you've only got 15 seconds. So if you want something to like really get shared, it's got to be 15 seconds under to what we call it, get the impact. They've got professional titling, like the brevity in that. And like what you call it, like it's fucking brilliant what they done. Like fucking like I got like flipping, like I'll get like people that I vaguely know from the smoking area in work asking me if I know Zen, and I think, oh, this is brilliant. And like what should we call it, what a lot of battle, because as I say, like battle rap on Twitter is basically a forum. It's like a few battle rap fans and mainly battle rappers just talking to each other. And like occasionally they'll share a clip and it'll be a screen recording of the Patreon release that hasn't been color graded, with no captions, in 9:16 format in a 10:16 video. And it gets shared by like other people that were on the same card, and like nothing really like pops off from it. Like, so like flipping, I think like the attraction to what we call it, like the benefit, like I enjoyed being in the sort of battle rap culture on Twitter, but I think we need to recognize that that's just a forum, that's just a group chat, and it's not bringing any extra fans to events. I mean, the biggest thing that's popped from like a cappella battle rap was probably flipping like ScoMo and Conor McGregor, but
Yeah.
I don't think that sold any extra tickets for Prem. Like,
No, probably not. I know what you're saying, but I think it definitely is like a group chat. Like it's like a group or a forum or something like that, where the people that are in that niche will kind of speak to each other and see posts and like each other's posts and things like that. But
and that is great.
Helpful. Yeah, no, that's great. But I also think Twitter specifically is helpful because otherwise I won't know what's going on in the US and stuff. Like I won't know about like cards that are streaming. I won't know about, oh shit, I should probably get, this massive cards happening. I should probably get the VOD or whatever. So that's probably the only added thing. But I definitely agree. I think Pen Game have the there's obviously a big push as well. They've got like, digital billboards and all this kind of stuff, but their social media marketing strategy is also very good. And I think because Prem does have clips that they also put out on TikTok, but I think yeah, I do think that it's different with a cappella as well. I think it is different with a cappella battles where it's not quite, especially where a cappella has evolved to in terms of the skill level. It's not just like as what's the word I'm looking for? Not attainable, but like what's the word I'm looking for? Like where it's not easily, if you're not already
Accessible.
following accessible, yeah, if you're not already following battle rap, there's going to be certain things that you don't necessarily understand, and they can be like really funny punches and things like that that pretty much anyone can get. And I think Prem does a good job of clipping those, but and put them out as like shorts and put them out on social media. But I know what you're saying about Pen Game in terms of like they will have very high quality clips along with high quality videos, like full length videos, of, while very basic, it's also very like catchy. Anyone can get it. Anyone can see it and enjoy it, and it's on beats that makes things a bit easier as well. And I think it's just very, very easily digestible. Is probably what I would say about Pen Game. And so, of course, more people would be able to gravitate towards that.
Yeah, so I think like a cappella battle rap needs to look at like sort of what pops with sort of stand-up comedy clips at the minute, because like this is something I've been thinking, because I've been doing like what we call it, social edits for like, I've done a few for like different comics and this kind of thing, and like flipping in like sort of doing them for other people and like coming at something strictly as an editor and strictly for the social thing, like, because I've put out a load of shit videos and a load of shit clips. It's only since I've been doing it like for a bit of money for other people that I'm coming at things exclusively with an editor's eye that what should we call it, I realize that like what works and what doesn't. Like if I was going to like if I had a battle where I think like I've never done it before, but what I do, like the next time I'm booked for a battle that I'm going to bother taking seriously, is like I'm going to like structure part of a round for a clip, like what should we call it, and like because like a clip, like on social media right now, can't be 4-bar setup because you've can't be 4-bar setup because you've what should we call it? You've got 7 seconds. You've got 7 seconds before it clips. And if you want people to share it, it needs to be something in that 15 seconds. So it need to be like flipping, set it up with a one-liner, just a quick 1-2 punch that goes off in 7 seconds, and have that as an opening for a bit. Because if you don't get that opening punch in, then people don't watch the rest of the clip. They just zip past it. So, and like flipping, I'd structure something like that, because as long as you've got that like one, like basically you need 10 seconds to get a clip that pops. You need that 10 seconds. And the other thing is like this is what is like some crowd footage. If you like have people like what should we call it, like maybe necessarily clipping things out of like the Patreon, just one angle, just on the battle rappers, isn't the best thing, because like flipping, you like faces in the crowd going flipping like what should we call it? That'll make people turn the sound on if they're scrolling past and they're not looking at it. Those reactions, because we're tuned to reaction channels, reaction culture, and like if you think about YouTube thumbnails and how like everyone looks so fucking stupid on those, because if they go, more people will click the fucking video. So like that's what I do. That's what I do if I was trying to like really get some shit popping, like to promote it now. And obviously like flipping like titles are a big thing. There's a lot of people using CapCut, and everyone's using the same CapCut preset, and it's going a bit bait. So like flipping, all the stuff that's popping now like is like people are using brevity, and flipping like I spent 120 quid on a Premiere Pro plugin called Submachine, because it's the only thing that's a lifetime access for animated captions. And like basically you can design your caption animations and the fonts and everything in After Effects, and then you just throw in the text transcription and that, and it captions it. And it's a but that's the thing that's on my computer, as opposed to like Brevity, which is like AI. That's what people are using for the captions that are really popping right now. A lot of people are doing bits with these CapCut presets, but it's going to become bait really soon. So I've just written down, oh, yeah. There's another thing. Since I've left Twitter, I've got into flipping, doing edits, which are available from Social Sinister Cinema Studios .art.
Nice. Well, yeah, that does bring us to, because we're talking about how time consuming it can be. So that brings us nicely onto what have you been doing? What have you been up to with your time now that you've had some back since you quit Twitter?
Yeah, flipping. I'm trying to trace it back. Obviously, at the point I left Twitter was the point that I was I'd just put up the Steam page for my game Expired Meds, which is like going to be my first proper release. I did a little mini game because I started learning all of this 2 Septembers ago, and then made a game in 12 weeks, very short 15-minute game, and put it out on itch. And spent the next year developing my skills. I got a better computer, moved over from Unity to Unreal Engine, which is what I'm developing this in. And I was hoping to have the game out by now, but I would have had it out by now if all I was doing was making the game. But now I've got to be a publisher as well. I've got to publish it, so I've got to deal with that. So I've got to deal with marketing. So I've got to deal with all this bullshit. I've got to deal with like flipping reaching out to correct influencers. I've got to deal with things like localization and making sure that and getting translations. I've got to make sure that it runs on different levels, because if you're making something for console, everything's running on the same PlayStation or Xbox. With PC games, I can have something that runs Ace on my fucking $3,000 computer here, but it's no good if the only people who can buy it and play it are people with $3,000 computers. I need it to run on flipping a £500 computer, and like all these other factors that have come into it. And like during that, obviously, I've tried to get other bits doing, because what I really want to do is at least cut down my hours at my day job. So flipping, I've had to develop other skills like editing. I've been doing bits of that for comedians. And when I got into Unreal Engine, I got really into environment design and animation. And I've done animations for different podcasts and film festivals. And then I started getting a bit of attention off that. And then obviously, like at the point I'm losing Twitter, if I can get a bit of attention for like filmmaking type stuff or something, or like being involved in productions, like, or getting it, or like, getting the name around as being known as someone who can do good edits, like getting my name around for all these different things are going to ultimately help me sell my game. Because as I said at the start, it's about the number of wish lists. So I've had to go off in a lot of separate directions. But I got really into animation while I was going into Unreal Engine. And in the first month of having Unreal Engine, there's this thing called the 666 Film Challenge, run by the Independent Horror Society, that happens on May bank holiday weekend. And what you have to do is you've got 66 hours and 6 minutes to make a horror short under 6 minutes. And they give you things like you've got to pick one of these lines of dialogue. You've got to put this sound effect in it. You get this list of things that have got to be in it, and you've got to do something with it. And because you've got that list that you're stuck to, it means that everyone who's entered has done it within that weekend. And no one had ever attempted to do it animated before, but I did. And I was not happy with it. And I learned a lot of things about how to sort of get round things, because this was very early into learning Unreal Engine. I didn't know how a lot of things worked, but I figured out a lot of things that weekend. And I also figured out a lot of like ways to shithouse things. And it ended up getting picked, and it was shown in the cinema. And I went to like, I can't remember, it was somewhere in East London. And I saw something that I'd made in my in this living room on this computer in one weekend on software I didn't understand, get shown on a cinema screen. And that was like that was like a pretty touching moment to me. It's like, shit, like I might not know how to do it, but this is something I can actually do.
Yeah.
And then I started working with like doing graphics and idents for like the Soho Film Festival, which is like a horror festival. They do a Pride event every year. The first one I did was their Pride event because it's run by a guy called Mitch Harrod. It's like a sort of a queer-owned festival. And there's a lot of that influence to it. And it's like, well, it's a horror festival, but from that queer angle. So they show a lot of like voices that don't necessarily get amplified to the same degree by like mainstream festivals. And there's a lot more like sort of POC sort of filmmaking that comes through that, just because flipping, it's a place where marginalized voices, you know, can get amplified. So I started working with them, and they had a competition for the last one to make a short film under 2 minutes inspired by the Blair Witch Project. And it was judged by Eduardo Sanchez, who's the director of the original Blair Witch Project from 1998. And Jed Shepard, who made a film called Host. And they're two films that are very, very close to my heart. So I made a short film. Like I did it in the style of like an old public information film. I gave Gas Buff a few quid to do the voiceover for it. Flipping, I used some like facial animation motion capture and like and incorporated that into it, and I won. And like that was quite a big moment for me. And like that's sort of led to other things. Like I've just done an animated logo for a film company in LA. From them hearing off me off that after someone like reposted it on Blue Sky. Again, like there we go. There's no algorithm, so like there's no algorithm to suppress things. It's just people sharing things they like, and just someone saw what I did, liked it, shared it, and you know, it got me a job for a film company in LA that have got the first film with the ident I did for them is going to be premiering in a few weeks in Slam Dance Festival.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and
that's
like
so cool.
And the guy who commissioned it liked what I did so much. He's like, goes, like I think I'm setting up my own company for like more theatrical things. So will you do that? So that just shows like even now I think I've got like 1.2 thousand followers on Blue Sky. It's not many by like what should we call it, like old Twitter standards, but because that suppression isn't there and people are sharing things they like, and that's all it is, people sharing things they like and blocking the nonsense, it is finding its way. Like, you know, I've got like actual jobs in like for like film companies based in fucking Hollywood off the back of like under 1,000 followers at the time.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool.
And
see what you can do when you're not being suppressed all the time, right?
Yeah, this is it. Like, and I do go back to like Kojay's One a Day to 100K a lot, like, because like I think that's evidence that the odds are fucking impossible on these platforms.
I think he only went viral once, and that was when he did the over the top of BBL Drizzy when Metro Booming was doing that competition. I think that's the only time he went viral, and the whole time I think he did 6 months of it, and he put out some really, really good music, really good, and it just would be the same lot of us retweeting it, and it just is not getting to people because he didn't pay for Twitter. So Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I think I was just thinking about like what I would probably what I should be spending my time on. Um because you were talking about like it's nowhere near the same, but like I started learning how to do anime style drawing last year.
Mm.
And I was really enjoying it, like really, really enjoying it, and I just haven't picked it back up. So one of my New Year's resolutions was actually to do that for this year and just make sure that like I go back to doing the things that I enjoy, and that was definitely one of them. And
Mm.
because it can be like social media in general can be such a big time waster. Like even if
Mm.
I'm not spending it on Twitter, that I'm just on like TikTok scrolling or something like this,
Yeah.
and I can use my time a little bit more effectively. So yeah, definitely going back to anime style drawing, and also like my little DIY piano lessons that I was doing at home
Yeah.
with my keyboard, just kind of learning different things. Like I learned piano a very long time ago, not for very long, but just enough to get me through my my GCSE in music. And that I didn't really pick it up. I only knew how to play one song from then on. But what I found a really interesting way of learning or relearning it now was just by learning things that I liked rather than going back to all the music theory or piano theory. So what I did instead was like I'd find like a cool little part of like part of the Interstellar scoring by Hans Zimmer, like find a little bit of that and see if I can play that, and I just focus and learn every day, and I'd spend some time playing that till I got confident with it. And yeah, so it'd be things like that that I was doing rather than proper theory. But I really enjoyed it. I just have the same time every day because I work from home, so I can just take a quick break and go and just go on the keyboard and just play a little bit. Obviously, the one that everyone says is read more. So I think these are basically all of my New Year's resolutions. I think the easiest way of me to be able to do that, actually achieve them, is by spending less time in anything that sucks time away, and Twitter is 100% something that does that. And also I want to counteract what the algorithm does, which is really take you away from community. I want to do more community connection things. So like whether it's online or in real life, but like actual real interest groups or apps or whatever, and actually connect with people properly rather than just the rage baiting and all the noise and the arguments and the same recycled conversations that the algorithm puts out. Actually speaking to people again and having community. I mean, I already have community with battle rap. I'm quite fortunate with that, but like more interest groups and having more areas of community that I can really have. Because sometimes I get really overwhelmed, which I think is the idea, but sometimes I get really overwhelmed with stuff that goes on online on the algorithms because it just overwhelms me, and it makes you have such a bad outlook and such a bad view of people because it's just all the bad, right? And the news doesn't help because the news is just bad news. And then you just go on here and it's just the algorithm's just angry and all of this stuff is being shoved in your face. So I think I want to have more connections with people to remind myself that this isn't everybody. I don't need to feel overwhelmed and sad about the state of the world, because while the state of the world isn't great, there are still great people here every single day, going to work, going home, and I need more reminders of that rather than the reminders of the terrible things that people can do or think or say. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the what's it called? Do you ever go on like the YouTube things where they just have like the bars coming down for the piano tutorials?
Yeah, and they teach it, and you got to play it in time. Yeah, I've done that. I've done a couple of those, I think.
Yeah,
Going back to last summer.
sometimes I'll go on them just to sort of like see what something looks like. I learned yesterday that "Let Me Blow Your Mind" by Eve is just hang on, where are we? It's just them four. It's just it's just those four black keys.
Well, see, that's the type of shit I like to learn.
Yeah,
that's what I like, when it's like a song, like and it's not just boring old theory. It's just actually something cool. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to YouTube that so I can find out how to play "Let Me Blow Your Mind." I love that song.
Like I always like flipping. Like I find like the thing that sort of like helps me like sort of like stay creative with my consumption is like I'll have like something like a keyboard next to a screen or something, or like my iPad next to something. So when I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to go on it, then like I'll be more gravitated to like YouTube, or like TikTok's good for tutorials also, like
that's where I get my anime drawings from.
And like yeah, those like speed drawing things and stuff, they can be a bit stressful, like when you're like practicing, like but this is it, like, and like I'd say like the only premium flipping social media I flipping rate is YouTube Premium. Couldn't live without it.
I still don't have that, which is I really should.
Like
but I
flipping,
just don't like paying for things on social media. I think I have a complex about it or something. I don't know.
Oh, bear in mind, like flipping, once you've got YouTube Premium, it's got you for life. Like flipping, there was like a 3-month free trial, and like I was going to stop at the end of it, and then I saw some adverts. I thought, this is me done. And like so I've had to go on it, but at the same time, it's like sort of like not having adverts has like massively changed my relationship with YouTube, because like everything I've done, Unreal Engine, releasing games, learning to be an animator, flipping, what should we call it? Like having my stuff shown in the cinema, like all this stuff, it's all like it's all self-taught off YouTube since September 2023. And I don't think that'd be happening with adverts.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
And also like flipping, like being able to like have it on your phone is like flipping and like organize your playlists that way. It's like while I'm going round, I'll just like that was what, like I do it with like different ideas for games and that, but the direct example is that sort of Eve, Let Me Blow Your Mind. Like I just thought I'd like to learn that, so I looked it up on my phone straight away and then had that playlist locked, so that when I got home, like this screen here that's in front of my keyboard was like flipping, it was already there. And like what should we call it, sort of integrating that into my routine, so that, because like I find like with any kind of like creative idea, or like something you want to learn, the idea doesn't occur to you like when you sit down and go, oh, I want to learn how to draw this now.
Yeah.
Or I it doesn't happen when you sit down to do it. Like it'll just like happen. Like you'll be in a like a lot of my stuff is I'm into that sort of like liminal photography and like the recreations of that and the backrooms type stuff. It was like seeing things like the Rose in Chester and thinking to myself like, oh, I'd like to like make something in that in Blender or Unreal or something. And like flipping, that's the big difference, is like I was using my phone while I was out and about to like sort of collect things, and like flipping when I'd like have a bit of time to do something, it'd be there. Like I wouldn't have to try and remember what that thought I had 6 hours ago while I was on the way to Tesco's was.
Yeah. I think when you do kind of get just those sparks, but I feel like you get them more when you start with a bit of discipline. Like if you've just not been doing anything creative, at least for me, I find I've just not been doing anything creative, nothing will come to me like that. I need to be like intentional. I need to be purposeful. I need to actually be like, okay, at this time and this time, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. And then it's like it unlocks something in my brain. Yeah. And once that's unlocked, you'll just be randomly doing something else, and you'll think, oh, this will be a really good thing to, and then you need to act on it, kind of thing. But yeah, I find that it can be quite challenging to do that. I mean, yeah, it's crazy because I think, like you said, Twitter can be, as well as being bad vibes, I think it can be a huge sort of time suck. And so getting that back is something I look forward to for sure. But in the meantime, I'm still going to try and start these things that I want to do. At least if I make a start on them, then maybe starting them will help me just go on it less. And then it won't feel like so much of a, oh, I have to get rid of it, because hopefully won't be using it at all at that point anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that works. It's much easier to say than do, that's for sure. But
yeah. Flipping like I think that's how it's kind of got to be. I was going to say like flipping like I deleted the app like off my phone, and then flipping for 2 days. Like I had that first thing where my phone kept hitting where the icon was whenever I picked up my phone. That was like a day.
Yeah.
And then what should we call it? Second day, not so much. And then I logged into it on the internet, and like I thought, like I've been out 2 days. I don't know what's happening here, and like I don't even like some guy who had a tryout at Short Circuit is offering out. Like I don't know any of this. Like flipping, I just completely disconnected from it for 2 days, and that was the flipping end of it. So I thought I don't need this anymore. It can go. But that was only possible because I had other things on my mind. I was like thinking about like what I was going to make. I was thinking about I'm going to do this tutorial and that, and like sort of so like that is exactly right. You know, you do need to be replacing things, like otherwise it's just going to be like your thumb missing that
just
thing.
immediately go there by reflex. Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Well, that was a good one. So we're going to move on to the final segment of the show then, Kinell. And the final segment is called Mahakama. Now, Mahakama is the Swahili word for court. So this is the segment, Kinell, where I'm trying to be a little bit less judgmental in my life, but I have a segment where I can judge people, places, things.
That's
and
the way,
I encourage my co-host to do the same as well.
That's
so
it. We have a space for judgment.
Exactly.
Carrying it with you.
Exactly. And then I can just get it, and then once it's done, it's done, and then I don't have to think about it. That's the plan anyway. So today I've actually got an Am I the Asshole? Do you tend to read these subreddits?
What should we call it? I don't really read they find me.
Fair.
I don't go on that subreddit, but like when something's popping, it tends to find me.
It will find you, yeah. Well, this one was one I thought was quite interesting and slightly on topic. So the title is, Am I the Asshole for telling my daughter that her animation is not that good? So I'll read it as the person obviously writing it. My daughter, 13, has recently gotten into animation and is using Flipperclip. She asked if I would pay some money for her to use Premium, $5, which removes the watermark and gets a bunch of other things. She showed me an animation of a rainbow, which in all honesty was quite bad. I told her that she wasn't good enough in animation for me to put an investment in this. We're not strapped for cash or anything, but it really wasn't worth it. She started tearing up and said that I've never supported her in anything she has ever done. She then stomped to her room. I felt slight guilt, so I want a second opinion. Am I the arsehole? So we don't do Am I the arsehole here, obviously. We have mercy or no mercy. So, Kinell, mercy or no mercy for a parent refusing to pay for a service their kid wants when they're not skilled at the service, or what they need the service for, basically. So what do you think? Do you think it's mercy being like it's not that big of a deal, no mercy being it's kind of messed up?
It is kind of messed up, unless he is an animator. like this is it. It's no mercy there, and I say this as like I will say that flipping he has done enough research into his daughter's interest there, because like Flipperclip kind of shit, but if she enjoys it, like flipping like so like flipping if you put that kid in like what should we call it, like say, okay, if you're going to do it, you're not having Flipperclip, you're going to have this laptop with an all right graphics card, and you're going to use this, and you're going to learn to do this. And like if you could teach yourself, the more you teach yourself, the more you learn, and the more I see you developing, the more I'll be willing to sort of pay into or for an app like costs you nothing in it. Like
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the fact that they went on to say we're not like strapped for cash or anything, like it's $5. Like, no mercy. Come on. Like
Yeah,
if it was me, like, because I just feel like these skill, like they're the talents and the skills, there's something you learn, you
yeah.
work on. You might have a knack for something, but you still
Mm.
work on it, irrespective of what it is. And this is a 13-year-old child. Like they
Mm.
found an interest in something. You're not strapped for cash. It's not going to cost you the world to pay this $5. And like you said, you can take it a step further and say, listen, I want you to work on this. If you enjoy this, I want you to work on this. I want you to put your all into it.
Mm.
And when I see some improvements, I'll invest more at a later stage. All the child was asking for was a $5 like premium account.
Yeah. And
So
also,
if you're
like,
not strapped for cash, it's not. I don't understand the big deal. Why would you say you're not actually good enough for me to invest in this? That's crazy.
like she's got like so like you complaining her stuff isn't good when like she's not only just started it, but she's using the free version of a $5 app. Do you know who
Yeah.
Kane Pixels is?
Do I know who is?
Kane Pixels.
Kane Pixels, no.
Kane Pixels, like flipping. I think he's like 20 now. But like, do you know about the back rooms?
No.
It's got,
Sorry.
back rooms is kind of like this. What should we call it? Like this concept of like sort of liminal horror. I've like done bits
Okay.
around it, like, and
Mm-hmm.
like it became a thing where like it was not just about fan art; it was about fan animation, and like people would do stuff in like Blender, and Blender's like a free open source app.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's what this like and like that's what this kid Kane Pixels was into, and he put out this like if you look up his stuff like Kane Pixels, the back rooms, like flipping the videos have got loads of views, and it's stuff he was doing when he was like 16, 17 on this free
Wow.
software, like these animations of it, and like no, I think he is 21 now actually, but like what he's done from like mucking around on this free software, and his parents probably got him like a gaming PC with an all right thing, like flipping Backrooms the movie. It's like A24 are funding it. It's like A24 who like do A24 the film company, like in it, like
Yep.
flipping like they signed Kane Pixels off stuff he did on free software on his computer when he was 17.
Damn.
He started learning when he was flipping 13 off YouTube tutorials.
See, this parent would never know what their daughter could achieve just because they didn't want to pay a £5 premium for Flip a Clip.
This is it. And flipping like, like do some research, like maybe I don't know what the fuck Flip a Clip is like, but if like flipping you want to be an animator, okay, let's have a look what animators use. And it turns out if you got a decent computer, there's a lot of people making interesting stuff on stuff that's free on the computer with them well documented on YouTube. Flipping like this kid's got like a flipping Hollywood flipping major motion picture deal that what should we call it? He's making in his summer holidays from uni.
Oof. That's a good life, isn't it? It's a good life. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you never know. The thing is, even if you don't end up with somebody who's that successful that quickly or whatever, it's your kid. Support them in what they want to do. If it's not costing you an arm and a leg, if it's not, you're not strapped for cash, you're not below the poverty line, you can afford to do the thing. Why be unnecessarily mean to that child and say you're not good enough for me to invest in this? It's just not. It's not helpful. It's not supportive. It's not necessary. Why did you do it? Absolutely no mercy from me. I don't think that's good parenting, to be quite honest.
That's terrible parenting.
Yeah.
Like I've used the example of someone who was really successful there.
Yeah.
But like flipping, like, suppose she never saw a penny off it. Suppose it was never good.
She liked it. She likes doing it. That's enough.
I like what should we call it? Like enjoying creating, like flipping enjoying creating things in your life will flipping always be a benefit. It's always going to be about, like I say, like flipping, you know, I'm in my mid-40s here, and like all this stuff is like flipping, you know, is stuff I discovered a year and a half ago. Like, but I've always had something creative on the go, and like you always find new things. You don't know what will lead to what, but like, you know, you'll never discover these things that you find joy in if you're not in the habit of doing things that bring you joy.
Yeah. And what a fantastic use of your time. You've got a 13-year-old who's actually using their time to bring themselves joy, and it's not causing anyone else harm. It's not causing them harm. They're just creating and they're having a good time. And you want to put out that spark before it really has a chance to even become something.
Yeah.
It's bad parenting. Bad parenting. All right, well, we agree.
Don't get me wrong, like flipping. I'd probably leverage it. I'd say, you know, you're not having say your birthday's in August, flipping, you're not having this flipper clip, but you can have a computer if you're on flipping moves and flipping like the housework's nice for the next few months.
Absolutely. Yeah, nothing wrong with leveraging the things that they like. No, there's nothing wrong with that. Get them to get into good habits, whether it's chores or doing well at school, whatever it is. Yeah, absolutely. I'm for that 100%. But yeah, you got to support what they want to do, the things they like, man. All right. Well, we agree. No mercy then for this parent. All right, and we've come to the end of the show. So, Kinell, let me know, is there anything you would like to promote or let the people know about?
Yeah, you can find all my stuff at sinistercinemastudios.art. You can it's got all my links there, but if you want to follow me directly, I'm Twitter as kinell.la and sinister.cinema. What should we call it? I'm on Blue Sky as at sinistercinemastudios.art. My YouTube, I've always got stuff posting there. I think I'm like Kinellio on TikTok and all these. My actual socials are a mess because like some of it's an animation I made, some of it's like a clip from a battle. So like fucking all my numbers are really low because I just chuck everything on channels that haven't been organized. But I got all the socials at sinistercinemastudios.art, and there's a link. You can see my little short film and all that kind of thing. And also I'm like working with, I'm trying to think of like what I've done and what I can announce and what I can't, like, but one thing I can say is I'm working with Found TV, which is like a new streaming service, very independent, very small streaming service that's just found footage movies. And that app's available, what should we call it, on your on a flipping Google Play, whatever your telly is, you can get the streaming service. And like there's a paid tier for like if you want to watch it with no ads, or you can watch it free with ads, but they haven't got any advertisers yet, so you can just watch it free and just still have no ads. So get on that. So I'm doing stuff with them. So like occasionally you'll see me posting videos with what should we call it, a load of like grainy found footage stuff on, because I'm doing bits with them. And there's a lot going on. And I'll probably pop back up on Don't Flop at some point.
Cool. Okay. I'll put some of those links that you've mentioned, Kinell, in the description as well. So please do check it out there. And if you'd like this episode, please do share it with a friend. If you're listening, please do rate me 5 stars on Apple and Spotify, just so other listeners can find and enjoy the episodes as well. And if you're watching, please do engage with the YouTube video, subscribe to the channel, but also put in a little comment, maybe put in some things that you would like to be doing with your time other than being on social media or Twitter specifically, whatever that looks like for you. But you can follow at Pod of Mercy on the socials. We'll start putting clips and things like this soon. But other than that, I will see you next week. Bye.